So I primarily made this video because I get asked all the time by friends and family, what camera should I buy? It's my first camera, I'm not sure what to invest in. And so this video is for you. And I encourage you to think about these things that I'm about to discuss long before you start looking at tech specs and which camera brand to buy. Because they're gonna predicate more or less the rest of those decisions. And so here's the three things that I recommend you consider before you ever start looking at the specific cameras and lenses and bodies that you're looking for. The first is this: buy what you can afford. Not everyone has the same budget. For me, I look at photography as a business, and my needs as a photographer are very different than, say, your average Joe. And so therefore, a camera investment for me is a write-off. If I spend $4,000 on a camera, technically I'm not really spending $4,000 on a camera because it's a tax write-off, right? At the end of the day, it's a business expense. You may not need to invest that much in order to purchase your first camera. So don't focus on keeping up with the Joneses. If you can't afford a $4,000 camera or a $3,000 camera or a $1,000 camera, that's okay. Invest in what you can afford. You don't need to invest in the best form of equipment to dive right in. Oftentimes I see the folks that buy their first camera and spend a lot of money wind up selling that in the used market for a lot less than they winded up spending to purchase it in the first place. The second thing that I recommend doing is buy what you need. Not everyone needs to have a 40 plus megapixel camera. Not everyone needs to purchase a camera capable of shooting, let's say, 8K video. If you're a person that's pretty much just gonna go on vacation and you don't see the need to shoot in 4K, or you have no capability of editing that at home, why invest in it? You know, I tend to be a practical person that way. Invest in what you can afford, but also invest in what you need, not what you want. So focus on what your specific needs are. If your needs are to shoot in low light situations, as an example, because you're interested in night photography, invest in a camera that can do that. If you're interested in videography, invest in a camera that can do that specifically. But invest in what you need, not what you want. And I guarantee you'll spend a lot less money and frustration and heartache that way. The third thing, the most important thing that I recommend you doing, is really going back and deciding what's your level of commitment to photography. Not everyone wants to invest thousands and thousands of dollars in a camera. And then you start thinking about the lenses, the lighting, all the accessories, the camera bags, all the gear. Invest in your level of commitment. So here's what I mean by that. For me as a photographer, oftentimes when I'm on vacation, I bring this more often than not, because this is something that's convenient. So for me, I'm not traveling around with a tripod and camera and lenses because that's not my level of commitment. I've learned to love to appreciate the experience of being on vacation or in a new environment compared to I need to shoot something to impress other people. And I cannot recommend enough to really sit back and think, do I want to travel with a camera and 3 lenses and a tripod and a ton of accessories? What's your level of commitment to getting the shot, if you will? Oftentimes, if I'm not on assignment, my phone suffices. I can take pretty awesome photos with my iPhone and be okay. But if I'm shooting something for, let's say, a campaign, or I have something that I want to composite for a background, or I want to shoot something for print, then I'll bring a camera and lenses and a tripod with me. But notice, every specific choice that I make as a photographer is predicated on what do I feel like carrying with me. Remember that your investment is an investment. So if you're gonna go on vacation, God forbid something happens to your camera or your lenses, that's something that you need to purchase again. So again, purchase for your level of commitment. If you're all in, I congratulate you. If you want to haul 30 pounds of gear, by all means do. But a lot of you buying your first camera may get away with using this or a point and shoot compared to using a full body camera, using a full frame camera, using a micro four thirds camera, using a mirrorless camera. Oftentimes you can get away with just using your iPhone. And I'm sure that a lot of you that our photographers probably get frustrated by me saying that, but oftentimes, let's just be practical here. Most people don't need a camera. It's a want, right? And it's pretty much just up to you to decide what your level of commitment is. So before you start looking at tech specs, before you commit to purchasing your first camera, what brand you should jump into, consider those three things. What do I need? What do I want? What's my level of commitment? With that, I leave you, and I hope you have an incredible day.